Let's talk about the other laws and courts decisions. Reorganization Act of 1947. The act placed public and private schools under the supervision and control of the Bureau of Public and Private Schools. Next is Republic Act Number 1265, amended by Republic Act 8491. This law was approved on June 11, 1955, and provided that a daily flag ceremony shall be compulsory in all educational institutions. This includes the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. It enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the Philippine Congress assembled. All educational institutions must conduct a daily flag ceremony that is modest and respectful, and includes the playing or singing of the Philippine National Anthem, which is Lupang Hinirang. Next is Department of Education, Culture, and Sports, Order Number 25 of 1974, popularly known as the Bilingual Education Program of 1974. The order required the use of English as medium of instruction for science and mathematics subjects, and the use of Filipino as medium of instruction for all other subjects in the elementary and high school levels. The bilingual education policy aims to achieve national competence in both Filipino and English via the teaching of both languages and their utilization as mediums of instruction at all levels. In grade 1 and 2, regional languages will be employed as the auxiliary languages. The Filipino goals is to be able to execute their roles and responsibilities as Filipino citizens and in English in order to meet the country's demands in the community of nations.
Sources of Philippine Educational Jurisprudence. So, last week, natakal na natin itong topic na ito sa report namin. Kaso, hindi lang kompleto, hindi kami natapos. And mag-skip na tayo dito sa constitutions na natakal ko na rin last week and constitutional education. Dito na tayo sa statutes na i-explain ko na mas maayos ngayon and mas kompleto. Again, statutes is mga batas na ipatupad ng formal. Like, pagka nakasulat na siya sa Book of Statutes, yung isang batas, meaning na ipatupad na yun and magagamit na siya sa law court. So, meron tayo ditong first act na tumutukoy sa pagpapaganda ng Philippine Basic Education System na kung saan ay sinasabi dito na sa bawat curriculum ay dapat mas mapaayos nila or mas mapaganda yung kwalidad ng edukasyon. Ito yung Republic Act or RA number 10533. Hindi siya simple or baliwalang batas lang. Dapat taon-taon siyang nagpapalit ng curriculum or taon-taon siyang may update, ganon, para mas ma-provide nga yung sinasabi na quality of education. And according sa Section 1 ng RA number 10533, itong act daw na ito ay dapat makilala bilang Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. This law also sets the initiate for fund appropriation for the K-12 system. So, meron tayong 4 phases during the implementation of its new system. First is meron tayong phase 1, laying the foundations. Ang goal nito is maipatupad yung pangmalawakan or universal na kindergarten and yung pagde-develop ng buong program or itong buong Enhanced Basic Education Act. Next is phase 2, modeling and migration. Ito naman, goal naman nito is ma-promote yung basic education law para masimulan yung pagpapatupad ng bagong curriculum sa mga grades 1 to 4 and grades 7 to 10. Sa phase 3, complete migration. Kung sa phase 2, ang tinutukoy natin is ang goal niya is mapatupad yung basic education law and pagsimula ng pagpapatupad ng bagong curriculum para sa mga grades 1 to 4 and 7 to 10. Dito naman sa phase 3 is para siya sa mga senior high school students. goal sa phase 3 is maipatupad naman yung mga curriculum para sa mga senior high school students. And lastly, meron tayo phase 4, completion of the reform. Ito na nga yung pinakahuling phase na may goal naman na matapos na yung lahat ng need i-implement or maipatupad sa K-12 education system. Ayun. So, 'di ba, sa kindergarten, ang tinuturo sa mga kindergarten, nasa kindergarten is pinaka-basic yung mga alphabet, numbers, shapes, and colors. Yun, pinaka-basic lang talaga. Siyempre, yun pa lang yung kaya nilang intindihin, 'di ba? Kindergarten pa lang eh. So, tinuturo yung mga yon na nakaayon sa mother tongue nila. Then, pagka grade 1 nila, kaya na nila magbasa through their mother tongue, 'di ba? And kunwari, yung bata is nag-aaral and galing sa Iloilo, ang mother tongue niya is Hiligaynon or Ilonggo. Ituturo yung alphabet, numbers, and shapes, and colors na nakaayon sa mother tongue niya doon sa Iloilo, which is Hiligaynon or Ilonggo mismo. Noong last 2012 to 2013, ipinakilala yung 12 or 12 na original mother tongue languages na pwedeng gamitin sa pagtuturo. Ayun. Ito ay ang Bahasagsug, Bicolano, Cebuano, Chabacano, Hiligaynon. Ayan, marunong ako magsalita ng Hiligaynon. Sa Iloilo yan, Iloco, Kapampangan, Magindanaoan, Meranao, Pangasinense, Tagalog at Waray. Pero pagdating nung year 2013 to 2014 na, pinakilala naman yung another 7 pa na mother tongue languages. And ito yung mga Ibanag, Ivatan, Sambal, Akianon, Kinaray-a, Yakan, and Surigao-non. So, sabi dito, sa under niya is, the science and mathematics subjects are now modified to use the spiral progression approach starting as early as grade 1. Ang sinasabi naman niya dito is, ang pagtuturo ng science and math subjects ay nagkakaroon ng konting pagbabago. Modification para magamit yung spiral progression approach. Ano nga ba yung spiral progression approach? Ito, makikita natin sa screen yung isang example, visual example ng spiral progression approach. Ito yung pagtuturo ng lesson nung sila ay nasa first grade pa lang, nasimula sa pinaka-basic. Alam ba, magtuturo ng isang specific lesson. Ituturo yan sa grade 1, sa pinaka-first level, first grade mo. Pero in a basic way or general na pagkakaturo ng lesson na yon. Then habang tumatagal, mas nagiging mahirap or mas nagiging complex, mas detalyado yung pagtuturo sa same lesson na yun hanggang sa maging grade 10 ka, ayun, mas magiging complex ituro yung lesson na yon.
So this is my continuation of my report last Saturday. Department of Education, Culture, and Sports Educations, Order Number 25 of 1974. This is also known as Bilingual Educational Program. So, ano nga ba ang main purpose ng Bilingual Educational Program? At bakit ito important at ano nga ba ang benefits nito sa Pilipinas? Kapag sinabi kasi nating bilingual, this is the ability to use of two languages. So, sinasabi dito, it refers to the teaching of academic content into two languages. In a native language natin, which is yung Filipino, and second language natin, which is English. Yung Filipino and English shall be taught as language subjects in all levels to achieve the goals of bilingual competence. Pansin nyo, no, bukod sa English na subject, yung subject natin na science at math, English yung pagturo, and the rest of the subject natin is Tagalog na. Essentially ito dahil nakakatulong ito maging competent ang mga students pagdating sa listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills in both languages natin na Filipino and English. And for the next, in Republic Act number 5698, kapag sinasabi kasi nating legal education, it is a way of giving knowledge about theories of law, philosophies, principles, etc. And by giving legal education, it can prepare students for the better application of law as well as for the research and development of the law. So basically, it is essential to improve the quality of law schools dito sa Pilipinas kasi maraming students ang hindi pumapasa sa mga bar examinations every year at kailangan natin maiwasan or mabawasan ito. Kasi future lawyers are very important as they are the ones who bring change in the society and also provide help for the betterment of our society. And next is Education Act of 1982. Kapag sinabi nating formal and non-formal education, yung formal education is linked for schools and training institutions like, for example, graded education such as primary schools through university, including yung mga academic studies. While yung non-formal education naman takes place outside formal learning environments but within some kind of organizational framework. And non-formal learning typically take place in community settings such as swimming classes, sports clubs, reading groups, debating societies, choirs, etc. So, sinasabi dito, dapat yung educational system natin ay may both formal and non-formal education at all levels for quality education. At hindi lang yun, it can support personal development ng bawat estudyante as well as ma-improve yung individual's professional skills. And for the next, 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, Article 15, sabi sa Section 1, syempre lahat tayo may karapatan pagdating sa education. But not only to access education, but also the right to receive an education of good quality. Syempre, education must be available and accessible, but also acceptable and adaptable. Sa Section 2 naman, so dapat ma-establish yung pangangailangan ng mga tao sa society, which is yung free education in elementary at high school levels dahil para lahat tayo has an equal opportunity to access level of education on the same scale kahit mahirap man tayo o hindi. And syempre, scholarship, kasi students may have trouble paying for their degree. Scholarships give an opportunity for students to earn an education without assistance from outside source and also to provide those suffering from restriction of different abilities. And to have a right to qualified legal aid, right to consult organizations of disabled persons for in matters of concern. Sa Section 3 naman, lahat ng schools ay dapat i-include yung study of Constitution kasi malaki yung tulong nito sa atin because it protects our rights bilang isang tao at mamamayan. It helps to know our limitations and the right things we should do in order for us to become a good citizens. Naman po sa Republic Act 665 of 1988 or also known as Free Public Secondary Education, lahat po ng students can attend public schools which are funded by the government and free to attend. And this is very important because students will have access to education and increase their chances of getting employment. And next naman sa Department of Education, Culture and Sports, Order Number 49 of 1992. In all public and private schools, required ng valedictorian and salutatorian at honorable mention sa mga graduating students kasi it gives college opportunity and it also reveals how students earn the best grades in high school. That's why we should keep recognizing educational achievement. Next, sa Department of Education, Culture, and Sports number 1 of 1994, yung number of school days nag-increase into 187 to 200 days. Kasama na dun yung examinations day in all public and private schools. Nung wala pang pandemic, di ba, start ng klase is June, tapos mag-end in March. Ngayon kasi nag-start ng September tapos mag-end ng June 2022. And nagko-consist yun ng 209 days inclusive of Saturdays and 5 days mid-year break. Next sa order number 37, 1994, sinasabi dito na lahat ng grade 6 elementary students required mag-take ng elementary assessment test sa Tuesday the 13th bago mag-start ng school year. Ano kasi, yung purpose ng assessment is to gather relevant information about student performance or progress, or to determine student interest to make judgment about their learning process. Sa Republic Act number 771 naman is yung NCEE, yung National College Entrance Examinations. Since 1973, students are required mag-take ng NCEE. Since wala pang K-12 noon, this exam is administered during the 4th year of high school. And now, yung NCEE was abolished in 1994 through Executive Order number 632 by then Educational Secretary Raul Roco, and napalitan ng National Elementary Achievement Test and National Secondary Achievement Test. Act number 7722, yung Commission of Higher Education, also known as CHED, is a Philippines government agency na in charge sa pag-ensure ng higher quality education and protecting academic freedom. CHED is also responsible for higher education, and also CHED offers scholarship for incoming of current college students who are enrolled in authorized public or private colleges or universities. Next is Republic Act number 7796, yung Technical Educational and Skills Development Act, or also known as TESDA, provides hands-on training and online instruction that provide quality technical education. It intends to assist individuals in developing their skills through a rigorous training program that will increase their employability. Bukod sa vocational and technical skills training, TESDA is also offering foreign language and culture courses like Nihongo, Korean, Mandarin, etc. Next is Republic Act number 7836 of 1994, Philippine Teachers Professionalization. Bago maging isang licensed professional teacher, or also known as LPT, kailangan munang mag-take ng licensure examination. Ang licensure examination is considered important by teacher education students in their professional development. And also, yung purpose ng licensure examination ay para ma-identify if they possess the minimum knowledge and experience necessary to perform tasks on their job safely. And next is Republic Act 7323, an act to help poor deserving students pursue their education by encouraging employment during summer and Christmas vacations through incentives granted to employers, allowing them to pay only 60% of their salaries or wages, and the 40% through. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, good morning sir. I am Ronel E. Dakaima. This is the continuation of the sources of Philippine educational jurisprudence. So to start, what is regulatory law? So for regulatory law, it is also known as administrative law. Ito po yung mga batas na naipatupad sa ating government agencies. Ito po yung mga sinusunod nating batas. For example po, sa DepEd, ito po yung mga batas for the students and for the teachers. Next one. Okay, ito po yung ibang meaning ng regulatory law. Pag in-upload po namin ito, pwede nyo po siyang mabasa. I-explain ko na lang po yung mga main points. So yung types of regulatory law, these are the rules and regulation and the administrative decision. So for the rules and regulations, these are policies that dictate how a law is to be used, and for the administrative decisions, these are government agencies that issue their own decisions, okay, regarding the application and enforcement of rules and regulations. So tandem po talaga sila. So itong isa, ito po yung application ng rules and regulation. At yung rules and regulation, ito yung kung paano gagana yung isang batas. Ito naman yung application na dun sa batas. Okay? I hope you understand. And as you can see, here is the historical development of the United States. And also here, the Spanish times in the Philippines. Itong Spanish times po ay may mga napipatupad din po mga act or mga batas, even though wala pa tayong alam sa mga ordinances sa mga time na yan. I mean, kapos pa tayo sa kaalaman ng mga time na yan, ay dyan po tayo ay in-influensyahan ng Espanyol. Religion, education, and po yung Educational Decree of 1863. As you can see, the aims of it is to promote Christianity, promote of Spanish language, and imposition of Spanish culture. And you can see its types of methods, I mean. Okay? So when you say types, ito po yung kung ano yung mga klase. Okay? Yung mga klase na pwedeng matutunan sa Educational Decree of 1863. Yung method naman, ito yung pamamakaan. Pamamakaan kung paano matututo yung mga learners. Okay? Okay. So the next one po is the American times in the Philippines. Ito po yung after ng Spanish ay pumasok naman po yung pananakop ng Amerikano. At sa pananakop nila ay in-implementsya rin po nila tayo sa iba't ibang bagay, higit lalo sa pagdating sa edukasyon. So ito po yung Act number 74 of 1901. Its aims is to teach democracy and preparation to rule Philippines. You can see the types and the methods of its education process, and as you can see, within the American era ay marami pong naisapabatas para sa ating edukasyon ang nangyari noong mga times na yan. Then the next one is the Education Act of 1940. Ito na po yung in-adjust from 7 years. Before kasi 7 years siya yung elementary, so ginawa siyang 6 years na lang. Then as you can see, ito na po yung mga naabutan natin, yung elementary days natin, kasi ngayon nagbago po ulit, di ba? Naging K-12 po tayo ngayon. Okay, so Commonwealth Act number 589, this law was approved on August 1940. It means that yung lahat ng paaralan, public man o private, ito po yung ginagawa natin every Monday, flag ceremony, din magdadasal po, or iba may panatang makabayan, ganyan po siya. Then ito po yung mga examples ng regulatory law. Ito po yung mga list ng agencies ng Philippines, government agencies ng Philippines. Dito po umiikot yung mga regulatory law sa iba't ibang government agencies. And yung sa baba po, ito po yung mga examples ng mga batas. Yung batas pambansa bilang 232, section 2. It is also known as Education Act of 1982. Hindi po ay kakamali. And this act shall apply to and govern both formal and non-formal systems in public and private schools in all levels of the entire educational system. Okay? So, ito pong lahat pong punto is related sa education. Itong mga batas na isa pang batas na mga batas na ito. So, meron dito up for the kindergarten. Ito yung Republic of number 10157. Ibig sabihin po naman dito na kailangan po muna natin i-prepare yung mga learners or young learners before natin ipasok sa elementary education. Dito rin po yung Republic of 10533. Okay, this act is also known as Enhanced Basic Education Act. It means that the state shall establish, maintain, and support a complete, adequate, and integrated system of education relevant to the needs of the people and the society at large. Okay? Hindi ko na po isa-isahin pa kasi masyado pong bukod ng mga batas. Pero all in all, it is for the education, for the benefit of the people of its nation. Okay? Meron nga rin po dito yung for education, for science and technology, for arts, culture, and sports. May mga batas rin po na tumutukoy regarding dyan na kailangan i-promote yung science and technology, arts, culture, and sports. Yun po yung pinaka-main. Okay. Yun yung sinabi ko po yun, under po yun ng 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines, Article 14. Okay. Then, proceed na po tayo sa ordinance. So, what is ordinance? So, itong ordinance ay madalas na po natin naririnig ito sa balita, sa Facebook, or any other social media. Ibig sabihin po nito, ito yung mga batas within the city or the municipality. Ito po yung mga batas, for example, yung bawal magtapon ng basura, and ito po yung mga batas na may punishments or may karagdagang nangangapat na parusa kapag lumabag ka. Ganyan po siya. Next one, and here are the critical details in the construction and adoption of a municipal ordinance include. Ito po lahat yun. Yan. Pati ito. Yan. Ganyan po siya madami. Ibig sabihin po, before maipasa yung ordinansa, dumadaan po siya sa maraming process. Yan, nandyan yung hearing, revisions, before siya may isa pa tupad. Meron din po tayo dito adoption. Kapag we get or copy some ordinances from the other cities, ganun po. Yan, next one lang po tayo. Legal opinion. Okay, so what is legal opinion? So, sa madaling salita, itong legal opinion daw po ay ito po yung mga inihahain na ng mga judges, ng judges or attorneys, yung possibility outcome na pwedeng mangyari sa hearing or sa ini-hearing. Ganyan po. The next one po, ito po yung mga dapat na nilalaman ng legal opinion. No? So the context must be clear, the opinion must be clear, the legal opinion letter must reflect proper preparation, and so on and so forth. Ganyan po siya. Yan po yung pinaka-format niya. Dapat ganyan na ganyan po yung legal opinion na mababasa nyo. Ito po yung example ng legal opinion. Medyo malabo lang po, no? Pero all in all, ganyan po siya. Yung itsura niya. That is legal opinion. The next one is resolution. So what is resolution? So for the resolution, ito po yung alternative term, or ang alternative term ng resolution is resolve. So ito yung it is the written motion adopted by a deliberative body. Okay? And the substance of the resolution can be anything that can normally be proposed as a motion. So sinabi na dito na anything that can normally be proposed as a motion. So, meaning to say, pag may hinihain kang batas at naisapatupad yun, pwede siyang magkaroon pa ng resolution to improve. Ganon po siya. And what is the difference between the ordinance and resolution? So, yung ordinance is more formal and authoritative than resolution, meaning to say, mas siya, parang pag ordinance, wala kang magagawa, sumunod ka, gano'n, kasi you will be punished, gano'n siya. Gano'n po yung difference nila. Unlike on the resolution. Then when should an ordinance be used instead of a resolution? So sometimes the answer as to which should be used, ordinance or resolution, is as simple as a statute or charter that specifies use. For example, ordinances must be used to adopt a code city budget or to vacate a county road. In general, ministerial and administrative acts may be exercised by resolution. So ayan na po, no, ang lino na po ng pagkaka-explain natin kung kailan po natin gagamitin yung ordinance instead ng resolution. Okay? But legislative acts should be made by ordinance. Okay? Ganyan po siya. So there are two types of resolution po, no? The non-binding and the substantive and procedural. So pag sinabi natin non-binding, ito po yung resolution that refers to measures that do not become laws. Hindi po siya naisa sa batas. Hiniain pero hindi naisa sa batas. Pero yung substantive and procedural, ang pagkakaiba po nila ay yung substantive resolution, ito yung what and why, and procedural is how. Okay? For example, as applied to criminal law, substantive law is that which declares what acts are crimes. Okay? Substantive law is what which declares what acts are crimes. Ano daw yung mga masasamang gawain or masasamang bagay, crimes, and prescribes the punishment for committing them. So, yung substantive law, ito yung dito po sinasabi yung mga kung ano yung mga act, kung ano yung mga gagawin, kung ano yung mga ginagawa sa isang krimen. Ganong ginagawa sa isang krimen at yung mga possible na punishment pag ginawa mo yun. While the procedural law provides or regulates the steps by which one who commits a crime is to be punished. Ito na po yung procedural law, ito na po yung, from the word itself, procedural law or procedural, ito na po yung mga steps once na nag-commit ka ng crime. Ganyan po siya. So for the next one, ito po example pala ng resolution. Medyo natin hila. So as you can see, declaring April 1st to be one Calavera Day. Then eventually, pag na-declare siya, eventually every year of April 1st, it is one Calavera Day. Okay? So therefore, the village of Rio Bravo shall be known and celebrated. And sometimes the conflict is resolved in a way that is painful for characters, but ultimately the conflict is resolved. So ibig sabihin, when there's a conflict, there should be always a resolution. Okay? Sometimes hindi po siya nagiging maganda on both parties. Mahirap po tanggapin. Pero ganun po siya nare-resolve. So, next one. Yun po. Ang ganda lang po yung report ko. And thank you so much and have a great day.
Magna Carta for Public School Teachers. Ang Magna Carta for Public School Teachers ang tumutulong sa atin para mas maintindihan natin na lubusan yung rights ng mga teachers inside and outside of the school, tulad ng tenure of the office, academic freedom, benefit from the government, and more. Magna Carta for Public School Teachers shall apply to all public school teachers except those in the professional staff of state colleges and universities. So next, last na act na ating tatalakayin sa lesson na ito is yung Philippine Teachers Professionalism Act of 1994. This is an act to strengthen the regulation and supervision ng practice of teaching sa bansa sa Pilipinas. Tsaka ng pagbibigay ng mga licensure exam para sa mga guro and other purposes. So yun, alam naman siguro ng iba sa atin dito or alam naman siguro nating lahat na 'di ba bago ka makapagturo bilang isang teacher talaga ay dapat, lalo na sa isang public school, ay dapat 'di ba lisensyado ka muna. So, paano nga ba makakakuha ng teacher's license? On the last year ng isang education student, magte-take yan ng exam, ng board exam. And kailangan nila to syempre maipasa. Kung hindi nila ito maipasa, ayun, di sila qualified magkaroon ng teacher's license. Pero, pwede pa rin naman sila mag-take niyan in the next few years. And next time, pwede pa sila mag-take niyan ulit. pero wala pa silang teacher's license. Di pa sila qualified magkaroon ng teacher's license. So, isa sa mga regulation dito sa act na ito is yung unauthorized teaching na pagtuturo ng mga teacher na wala namang lisensya or license sa mga na magturo sa mga pampublikong paaralan, sa mga public schools. Pagka mahuli kang lumabag sa Philippine Teachers Professionalism Act of 1994, ay pwede ka or maaari ka magbayad ng di bababa sa 5,000 or 5,000 at susobra sa 20,000 or 20,000. Sorry. Or pwede ka rin makulong ng 6 months to 5 years. Or, mas malala, is pwede rin parehas itong ihatol sa'yo. Or, ihatol sa'yo na makulong ka and magbabayad ka ng 5 to 20,000 na fine mo. Depende kung anong ihatol sa'yo ng korte. So, ayun lang naman yung report namin for this lesson. And that's all. Thank you.